I just wanted to have some nice, normal sex.
Range Wilson, fitness, comedy, life.
After my birthday weekend adventures in Santa Barbara, I got together for lunch with Marguerite, just as we had planned. It turned out we had a whole bunch in common, in addition to our fondness for nude beaches. Like me, she had made her own way through life, and we shared much of the same philosophy. After a long, enjoyable lunch, we shared a hug and a friendly kiss, and agreed to get together again soon. Then we ran into the usual barriers to relationships in Los Angeles. She got busy, I got busy, and we ended up losing touch. When relationships were fourth or fifth on everyone's priority list, it was tough to build a meaningful one. But as some consolation, there were always one-night stands. On one particular night, I found myself at a Beverly Hills night spot called Nick's. I was there for a Harvardwood event, but had arrived a little bit early. So I struck up a conversation with the woman next to me at the bar. Her name was Sandra, and she was looking for some action. It did not take long before my hand was resting on her inner thigh, and she made it clear that she was willing to let me go much farther than that. As I have mentioned before, at that point in my Hollywood career, I felt like my networking was way ahead of my actual screenwriting. That meant I did not have any particular qualms about missing the Harvardwood event. A few people I knew had shown up, so I spent a quick 5 minutes saying hi to them. Then Sandra and I headed over to her place. She lived in the San Fernando Valley, and she wanted me to follow her there. I obliged, and after a series of baffling shortcuts through narrow canyon roads, we arrived at our destination. It was $1 million home with a gated driveway, located in one of the best neighborhoods of the valley. Sandra pulled into the driveway, I pulled in behind her, and she locked the gate behind us. That's when she mentioned that she had a husband. I was not too happy to learn that particular piece of information, and I asked her whether he might show up. She said that he worked nights and there was zero chance he would show up. I thought that was an odd way to phrase it. Could there really be zero chance? In any case, I was already locked inside the driveway, so I proceeded to follow Sandra inside her house. She popped open a bottle of champagne, and we drank and chatted for a while. Then we proceeded to get down to business. I will not go into too much detail, but she had some requests that most people would characterize as kinky. I was happy to fulfill some of those requests, but eventually I just wanted to have some nice, normal sex. She was agreeable to that idea, but wanted to take a shower first. While she was in the shower, I took a look around the house, and the more I looked around, the more creeped out I got. Clearly a male had been living there at some point, but it did not seem like there was one living there now. All of the stereotypical male items had not been touched in a very long time. Before I could investigate further, Sandra finished her shower and told me she was ready for me. But by that point, my desire had wilted substantially. We did not even come close to completing the sex act. After I apologized for any disappointment she might be feeling, I asked her as calmly as I could if she would unlock the gate so I could be on my way. She agreed without any argument, and I breathed an internal sigh of relief. Wanting to be a gentleman, I reminded Sandra that I had given her some hickeys during our earlier festivities, and she might want to be careful to hide those from her husband. She said there was zero chance that he would see them. Once again, I thought that was a very strange way to phrase it. I made it out of there without further incident, to my great relief. In fact, Sandra and I exchanged some emails afterwards, and I considered getting back together with her again. But then I watched the movie 21 Grams, in which one of the characters pretends she has a husband. That was too much for me. I am not a big believer in signs from above, but if you beat me over the head with it, eventually I will give in. I emailed my regrets to Sandra, and since then I have not heard from her again. But I cannot help but wonder about the whereabouts of Sandra's supposed husband. Sandra, if you are out there somewhere, please let me know the truth. Unless you're in the middle of some kinky sex. In that case, it can wait. Tune in next time to find out what happened when I had a legitimate chance to get my work in front of an A-list Hollywood star. Until then, click the icon to subscribe, the playlist to catch up on my life videos, or watch a video that YouTube has picked for you personally. My name is Range Wilson, and I'll see you next time.